My name is Tommy Watkins, your instructor, here for a new and exciting topic this week. Before I get into this week's topic, I would like for everyone to go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to this content so you can receive it on a weekly basis. This week, I have the pleasure of introducing Lisa Duffy, the queen of live scan, and she's the owner and operator of First Class Signature and Mobile Ink Fingerprinting Service out of Elk Grove, California. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give her a round of applause. All right, Miss Duffy, Queen of Live Scan, how did you arrive at that name?
I arrived at that name because everyone that I fingerprint, they just always tell me how fast I am, that, they've gotten fingerprinting done before, and it took an hour for the technician to capture their prints. And then I started getting requests for training on fingerprinting and then workshops and all of the above. And here in at least in my area, there's no formal training for live scan technicians. So that is what I plan to do and am doing for people.
Okay, excellent. So, how did you actually get into the ink, mobile ink fingerprinting in live scan space?
So I'm a notary. I've been a notary public since 2015. I started out with loan signing and then just kind of evolved from there. In 2021, my mom passed away. And so I just sort of just it changed everything for me, and I had to reevaluate what I was doing, because prior to now I was working a full-time job and just doing pretty much everything on the side, including notary.
Okay,
And then when that happened, I could kind of hear her in my ear saying, "You're very good at what you do, go for it." And so I did. I quit my very cushiony six-figure job and I started my LLC and added live scan fingerprinting and ink fingerprinting and apostilles. Some people pronounce it apostille,
correct.
and passport photos to my
Okay,
business.
okay. So you do an extensive amount of work within your fingerprinting and live scan business. I see.
I
Uh,
do, yes.
I, I see that you was highly rated there on Google there in your area in California. Uh, Kudos.
Thank you,
And
thank you.
I want others to see that women within this industry are blazing the way just as much as men. It's a lot of men that dominate this industry, but I want to highlight uh, the best females out there throughout the country that are doing their thing within this space. Um, as far as, let's say, the business, um, how what was the difficulties uh, in coming into the business? What are the I guess the certifications for your area for an individual who's thinking about coming into the mobile ink fingerprint or live scan space? Uh, how would they get into the business there in your area?
So that's kind of one of the struggles in this area, because there's a lot of steps involved, especially if you want to start a fingerprinting business. It's not hard, but there's so many steps that sometimes it confuses people. And so the first step here is to become a finger is to get your ro- finger rolling certificate.
Okay,
And most of the time, when you get a certificate or you get certified in something, it's because you've gotten some training or you went to a class and passed the exam. Well, for California, it just means that you filled out an application and you got an approved background check. and they
Correct.
issue you that finger rolling certificate. It doesn't mean that you know how to roll prints. It doesn't mean that you have live scan equipment. It doesn't mean that you have a job as a live scan technician. It just simply means that you cleared the background check and filled out the application to be certified to roll fingerprints. Um, and so that's where I come in, is to help people get that training so they can effectively roll prints. Because if you, and you probably know this, I'm sure you do, Tommy, is if you don't roll someone's prints correctly, they're going to get rejected and that customer is
Correct.
going to come back to you and you'll have to do
Exactly.
it again at no charge.
Right. It's nothing like doing something a second time around. It's just a waste of time and, of course, resources to do something the second time. So, as always, ladies and gentlemen, when you're out here doing these jobs, just go ahead and do it correctly the first time. Therefore, you don't have to pencil them in for another day to try to get that customer situated. Um, for as on estimate for as an individual learning mobile ink fingerprinting, how long does that typically take for an individual to learn the trade?
It, it just really depends on their learning curve. I'm very detailed and very thorough when I train people, and they typically get it the first time. They may
Mhm,
have a couple of questions,
mhm.
but I have, especially for the ink cards, there's so many details to how to do those cards. And there's
Exactly.
so many situations. The cards are not just for licensing and certifications. It's for immigration. It's to travel somewhere else. I had a customer come in and she needed 4 cards because she's a traveling nurse. And so she needed them for 4 different states.
Right.
So I try to provide those important details. Like, my mentor trained me really well, and she taught me to use, all the time, use black ink, number one. And then something people may not think of is you want to use a fine point pen so that you can fit everything within the box, because if you're
Exactly.
outside of the box, it's going to be rejected.
Exactly. It's those small things when you get a mentor, you can be advised about those things because otherwise, if you don't have a mentor, you'll pretty much go at this process alone and you'll just be not only failing yourself, but you'll be failing that customer because their card is going to be rejected
Yes.
and you're just wasting their time and your time. So it's time wasted on both ends. Um,
Yes.
what I would like to say, have all things Nat Jean here in the chat. She said, "Where are you in proximity to Los Angeles, California?"
I'm in Northern California, so I'm about 20 minutes from Sacramento.
Okay, and Miss Duffy, Miss Queen of Live Skin, what are your fees like there in your immediate area? Just give just a range for us ink fingerprinting, for as your fees and what you charge, I guess, for the first card and additional card thereafter.
So, as far as I have learned this far, besides the sheriff's department, I'm the only one in the area that provides ink cards.
Okay.
And the going range here is from $35 to about $60. And so
Okay.
I'm in that range. And then each card is generally half price, each additional card.
Okay. And advise me. So you said something about law enforcement agency within your area. Are they just decided they just not doing fingerprinting cards, or
No,
can you
they
share
are.
more? Okay.
They're the only ones though.
Oh,
From what I understand, it's them and then it's me. You can't even get a fingerprint card from the UPS store, which we have a million UPS stores here in the area. And they do live scan as well, but they don't do ink cards.
right. All things Nat Jean on Facebook here. She advised she charges 105 per card for the particular area she in. That's going to vary, ladies and gentlemen, based on the demographic area of the state. So fees will vary. Um, Thank you for sharing that, Mrs. Allnat Jean, because my fees here in Alabama, I charge 85 for additional cards. So they're going to vary. All fingerprinting fees are not the same for each area. It's a no size fit all type situation when it comes to the fees for zinc fingerprint. Um, what else you would like to share in regards to, I guess, the ink fingerprinting business? For I could say like an inspiring um, fingerprint technician that's coming into this space. Um, what is something you would advise them in regards to coming in?
I think that if you have dollar signs in your eyes, it's a disservice to your customers. You really want to come into this business to service people, because it's a service industry,
Mhm.
and you're providing, you're helping them take whatever next step that they are trying to get to. Um, but they have to have this step in order to do that. And you're that provider. And so when you focus on providing great service, great customer service, answer your phone when it rings,
Mhm.
be available for your customers, and be willing to pivot. So, I had a customer come in here this morning, and she had her live scan form on her phone. She hadn't printed it out. And so instead of me, saying, "Oh, well, you don't have it printed. I need you to print it." I had to pivot, and I had her email it to me, and then I printed it, and then she finished filling it out and signing it so that I could provide her service. Um, you want to really accommodate as much as you can, and just have that business mindset. You want to be available at the times that you say you're going to be available.
Right.
You want to be in your office at the time you say you're going to be there.
Correct.
um, because you just don't want to come across as someone who is not really focused on their business.
Right.
It's very important.
Right, and all those things fall under professionalism. Professionalism, ladies and gentlemen. You want to when you set standards for your business for its working hours, or even when a time where you are expected to respond to a customer for his appointment, meet the time deadline. Don't be a slouch. Don't be unprofessional. Because believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, that do affect your Google scores. So you need to do everything in your power to ensure that that you're servicing that customer 100%. Um, I had another individual within the Facebook. There I go with Facebook YouTube community here. She advises, what do you do if an individual don't pay for their fingerprinting services?
So, um, if I understand correctly, um, I don't have that issue because it's a service. I'm providing a service. I always take payment first. So if there's a situation, I can recall a situation where I'm not sure where her mindset was, but she showed up and she needed live scan. And when I, put everything in, and of course the machine tells me what price.
Hmm.
And so I told her the price, and it startled her because I don't think she thought she had to pay. I mean,
Right.
and
I
so
get
it
that a
kind
lot.
of threw her for a loop.
Right.
But I still try to accommodate. And so what I told her, she said, "Okay, well, I need to get back to you with my payment." So I said, "Okay, I'm going to take your prints now. That way you don't have to show up to me again, and
Right.
I'm going to save them." And when you're ready for payment, then I'll submit your prints to the DOJ. And
Correct.
so, she called me 2 days later with her payment, and then
Mhm.
I submitted her prints.
Okay.
But some people may not know that their system can do that. And so that's one of the things I teach as well in my workshops.
Okay. Beautiful. Uh, far as I lost my train of thought there. Um, for
Some people not
individuals,
knowing that you pay.
right? For individuals that are doing mobile ink fingerprinting, it is imperative that you set your process up on automation. Therefore, you can prevent issues like this with customers coming into your presence, possibly wasting your time, your gas, your resources, because you didn't have any systems set forth up front that could have weeded out the individuals that didn't want to pay or anything like that. That's the way you can um, weed out the actual people that pay, and of course the tire kickers. So just make sure you individuals out there that send this in this space implement some type of program in regards to automation. I see that you set up well for as automation. You have everything laid out perfectly on your website. It is beautiful.
Thank you.
It's easy to navigate. I, I look at it, I say you are a consummate professional. When I looked at it, even
I
from the
appreciate
point
that.
when I contacted you, the process I had to go through just to book, to get this interview today, just professionalism. It just oozes professional. I love that. I was like more professional than myself. So I guess so I definitely have to give you that. Um,
Thank you.
I
I
was,
worked hard at my website. That's all me. I did that myself.
oh, God, you can make that into a big business for up and coming mobile fingerprint technicians, setting up their automations and things like that. So that could be a strong market uh, for you. That's coming from me to you. So that's something to possibly look at. So if an individual is looking for additional training, how would one contact you in regards to uh, training opportunities for you training them under the California regulations?
So I have all the information is on my website, which is www.getfirstclassservice.com. And it's not the word first, it's one ST.
Just like
Um,
mine.
yes, just like yours. And so I have all the information there, and it's really easy to contact me. There's several links on all of my pages that would get you right to me. My phone number's on there. Yeah, so just reach out and take a look at my website, and we can go from there.
So tell me about one of your, I guess your funniest moments for us the being a mobile ink fingerprint technician. Any bloopers of any kind that stand out?
Oh gosh. Let's see. Bloopers.
Or just
Um,
just anything that just stand out in general.
Stand out. Okay. So I got invited, me and my assistant got invited to Pixar Animation Studios to live scan their staff. And that was an incredible experience. We went to their campus in Emeryville, and not only did we live scan 40 of their staff members, but they gave us a tour. They fed us from their restaurant. My daughter, who is an animation artist,
Okay,
one of the guys that worked on Cars 1, 2, and 3 and The Incredibles
okay,
um, took pictures with her and told her how to get with their internship. They gave her autographs. They told her which books to buy so that she could get a job there. I mean, it was absolutely amazing. And then they invited us back the next month to live scan more of their staff. So That's a
Okay.
regular account of mine. And then I also live scan for the National Notary Association. So I do all of their notary exam classes here in the Bay Area.
Splendid, splendid.
Yeah.
So advise me, I'm sure that keep you very busy
Yes.
working with the National Notary Association. Cool.
Very busy.
And also, what was your biggest um, fingerprinting job that you have done, and what was the dollar amount for that?
The biggest job to date is probably I would say the Pixar job.
Hmm.
That was for, like I said, 40 staff members. And that ended up being close to 3 grand
Okay.
for that one job.
Okay.
And then everything else is pretty much individuals besides the National Notary Association. And with them, it's we have um, a setup where when there's a really large class, it's they bring in another technician to help me.
Okay.
That way, I'm not there like till
I,
midnight.
I don't blame you in that regards. So if an individual is, I say, taking training with you, Miss Duffy, what can they expect to learn in that process en route to becoming a mobile ink fingerprinting technician or a live scan technician?
So I teach them from A to Z, how to get in the business, what it looks like being in this business, how to find clients, how to network. I teach the terminology. We actually get started in my workshops where people take that first step and fill out the application and get their live scan completed for their background check to become a fingerprint to get their finger rolling certificate.
Hmm.
um, but I cover absolutely everything because then once you're certified as a fingerprint roller, then there's additional steps to get approved to be a service provider. It's called a private service provider, and that's where you're approved by the DOJ to have a fingerprint live scan company. And then you have to go through approved vendors in order to get your equipment. So you can't just go to, the local store and buy
Right.
a laptop and a live scan machine. It doesn't work like that. You have to
Right.
go through an approved vendor, and the vendor will not even talk to you until you show him proof from the DOJ that you've been approved by them.
Correct. And another question I would like to ask you: you are a notary public as well, correct?
Yes.
Have there been any instances where you have leveraged your notary commission within the fingerprinting sector?
No,
Okay, you
I have not.
haven't not notarized any documents of any kind.
Well, yes, I have, but I don't need to say anything because it's all over my marketing.
Okay,
And so people will come in for either or.
okay,
Some people may come in for both, but yeah, I pretty much just give my pitch and say I'm a local business owner. I own first class signature service and mobile fingerprinting, and here's the services I provide. And then they put me on their list, and then they start sending their customers to me.
okay. So what is your networking base there in the California area for us um mobile ink fingerprint technicians?
Um, the
Or
network,
how is your competition? Is there any competition there within your immediate area?
yes, there's competition here. My advantage though is that I am mobile. Some of them say that they're mobile, but they still would prefer for you to come into their
Right.
location.
Hmm.
And so me being mobile is my advantage. I actually have a mobile appointment after this interview,
Okay.
where he just doesn't want to come to my office, which is not far from him.
Right.
But I provide that service, so they take advantage of it. Especially it's raining here today, so
Right. I hate the rain. So when you say mobile, so how does that look for as your business? Do you go to residential? Do you go to businesses? Tell me the different array of areas that you go to within your area for as the mobile aspect of your business.
yeah, so I do it all. I charge a travel fee. And then there's, my rolling fee. And I just show, they give me their address and I show up there.
Okay. So yeah, I heard you say travel fee. How much is that travel fee, and what county? How many counties do you service within that area?
I go all over. So for Pixar Animation Studios, they're located in Emeryville. That's a 2-hour drive from me.
Okay.
And so going there, normally it would have been $100 travel fee, but because they have more than 20 people, I waive the travel fee.
Okay.
And not only that, I wanted to secure that account. So I
Exactly.
offered that discount. And
Okay.
sometimes that's what you have to do in order to get a foot in the door. And then when I went back last month, they had less than 20, so I was able to charge the travel fee. But that's in my agreement that I sent to them, that says if you have
Right.
a certain amount of people, it'll be waived, otherwise you'll be charged.
Exactly. That's beautiful that you do that you have everything in writing. So there is transparency on your behalf as a business owner. So there is no griping later in regards to uh, what's going on for is your business. So, ladies and
Right,
gentlemen, it was great to have things in writing, whether it's a flyer, whether it's a letterhead, anything of that nature to convey your message in regards to the fees of your business, stipulations, or anything of that nature. Um, Explain, I guess, in process, advise, explain to the individuals that is watching uh, this live in regards to fingerprinting appointments. Uh, what type of special situation moment have you had in mobile ink fingerprinting that wasn't normal with people that had like all their digits? Explain what that was like, because ladies and gentlemen, not every appointment is not going to be the same, and all individuals are not going to have these.
yeah.
So,
There's been a few times, actually several times, where someone either is missing a finger or missing prints, or has scars on their fingers, or their prints have been burned off. I had one guy, I don't know what his illness was, but his fingers on both hands were pretty mangled up. And you have to make a note of that on the card or in the system,
mhm,
that what's going on. There's in the live scan system, there are some there's some buttons that you can choose, that says deformation or scars or
right,
missing digit or whatever it is.
correct.
But you have to make a note of that and just get the best print that you can.
Right. And ladies and gentlemen, for individuals that don't know that, a lot of people think that this process is just rolling fingerprints, but it's a lot more to that. And a trained individual can get out there and get started at the process if they don't, think about these things. And you just a disservice to that customer. You get out there and thinking you're a fingerprint technician and you're not, and you don't know the whole program. That's where mentors like uh, the queen of live scan, Lisa Duffy, and of course, Mr. Fingerprinting Guru Tommy Watkins come in at to mentor you guys in that process. So, so basically, let them know the importance of having a mentor to guide them through this process.
It is incredibly important to have a mentor. My mentor is Joyce Gonzalez out of Tracy, California. She is amazing and she taught me everything I know. And then also the National Notary Association, I've learned so much from working with them. So if whoever's training you doesn't have a mentor themselves, that's a problem, right?
Exactly.
Because we need to constantly learn ourselves and stay up to date on everything that's going on in our industry. But when you get a mentor, they're going to show you everything that you need to know, and things that you didn't know that you needed to know.
Right.
um, Keeping good records, knowing how to manipulate your machine in case it's too fast for you. You
Right.
can People may not know that you can actually slow your machine down, so that you
Or, or,
can
or or
roll a
slow
little
your
slower,
or slow yourself down for that
or
matter if
slow
you do,
yourself down.
unless you're doing it the traditional way.
Right.
Yeah.
And then just things like using simple tools to help capture those prints better, especially the people who have really light fingerprints,
Right.
you know.
Explain to them those special tools for us what you're talking about, Miss Duffy. You just named
Um,
one. You just named one.
the main one that I like to use would is baby wipes. And I learned that
Okay.
from the National Notary Association.
Right.
Because that what is that stuff? That Huskers,
Yeah.
corn huskers.
Yeah, corn huskers.
Some people use that. Some people use lotion.
I
Some
use this. It's my secret formula,
Okay.
but I use that.
Yeah, and
Uh,
water. Some people will use spray bottle of just water. And those things work. You just got to find what works for you. But some people don't know that you can use tools to help you capture those prints. They think they just got to keep, press harder on the finger.
right.
But there's some tools.
Sometimes it has to be lighter if it's not coming out when you pressing harder. You get a feel for the job once
Yeah.
you have done so many. It's almost like a muscle memory.
Yeah.
So so it's all about how you're being taught and things of that nature.
Yes.
Um, Anything else you would like to share, Mrs. Duffy, the Queen of Live Skin, in regards to this live?
Um, I'm available to help no matter what state you're in, because fingers aren't by state. Everybody has fingers.
Definitely not. I like that. I'm making make some merch. That's nice merch, Terry. I love
Yeah,
it.
so I offer a mentoring program, and that also is on my website. If
Uh-huh.
you need some advice or some training, I'm setting up some Zoom trainings that'll be coming up soon. I have a class or not this Saturday, but next Saturday, March
Right.
4th, on
Okay.
starting a fingerprinting business in California. And that's on Eventbrite. You can find it there. But I'm
Okay.
available to help whoever needs some advice or some training or just want to kind of talk it through. I'm
Right.
available.
All right. I want to give this briefing just right quickly to individuals that's wanting to reach out to the Queen of Live Skin, Lisa Duffy, or myself of Fingerprinting Gurus. Please do not inundate phone calls to the business line. Go to the proper channels, website, and put in your inquiry there. It's the
Please.
most professional way to do it. I just did a live on that last night because I've been getting inundated, and I just wanted to bring that up so you all know the correct way of going about things. Therefore, you're within the within I guess good graces of your potential mentor. So don't do those things. Don't go searching out the Google page. Just do what's needed, do the correct channels, and everybody be happy. Anything else, Mrs. Duffy?
I think that's it. I just want to thank you for having me on your channel. I want to thank everyone that tuned in. Following me on my journey, it's been incredible. I love what I do. I love helping people and giving that advice and um, just being a resource is what I love to do. So, shout out to everyone who tuned in, and everyone who's interested in starting a business in fingerprinting or thinking about the business. Um, and yeah, I'm available for whoever needs it. Thank you, Tommy, for saying please do not. Call my business line, which is the
No problem.
number that's on my website. It's me and my assistant. So if you send an email, I will personally answer it. And yeah, so just do it that way. That would be the best way.
All right. One more time for the listeners. Provide them an email and a website in which they can reach you, Mrs. Duff.
Sure. My website is Get One ST Class Service. So it's getfirstclassservice.com. And my email is info at getfirstclassservice. And on my website is my phone number. And I'm open to text messages. And however else you want to contact me is great.
Okay, excellent. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this wraps it up for the edition of Ink Ink Fingerprinting live live go together. Next week we will be traveling to South Carolina with another female entrepreneur within the mobile ink fingerprinting space. Like to close out with Lisa Duffy, Queen of Live Scan, Elk Grove, California. Uh, and we appreciate having you here live here on Fingerprinting Gurus.
Thank
Thank
you
you
for having me.
and have a great day. Thank you, ma'am.
You too. Thank you.
Bye bye.